Have you ever thought about this question? What shapes your life? What makes some people rise from adversity like a rebirth and finally shine under the attention of the whole world, while some people can never get out of the same place and fall into endless confusion and struggle? What really changes your life is not those external conditions. It is not whether the people around you understand you or support you. It is not those seemingly impossible challenges. What really determines your destiny is the belief in your heart. Do you know, what you believe in is what you become? Listen carefully, this is not an empty slogan, but a truth that each of us has verified with our lives. Whether you are sitting here, thinking quietly, or wasting your time in busy work, you are choosing every day what you choose to believe. Do you choose to believe in your ability, or believe that you are not good enough and can never overcome difficulties? Belief is a force. It is invisible, but it is enough to change your life. It shapes your response when facing challenges, and it determines how you stand up in adversity. Take Edison for example. Everyone knows his name, and almost everyone knows that he invented the light bulb. But few people remember how many times he failed, and almost everyone told him, "You can't do it." Every time he stood up, people in the world would laugh at him, thinking that he was just a dreamer and unrealistic, but he never doubted himself. Even if he was hit by countless failures, he always believed that he could invent the light bulb and change the world. He never listened to those who told him you can't do it, but firmly believed that as long as he persisted, he would definitely do it. This belief allowed him to pass through the darkness of failure and finally light up the whole world. Has he ever been confused? Has he ever been afraid? Has he ever had the urge to give up? Of course he has. However, his belief is stronger than fear. Belief is a kind of power that can make you stand up after every failure, and it is a power that allows you to go through countless difficulties and finally move towards the light. What about you? What do you believe today? Are you believing, "I am not smart enough to succeed"? Or, "My background is not good enough, and the opportunity is too far away from me"? Do you always secretly put yourself down in your heart, thinking that it is not worth it, impossible, and there is no chance? If you believe these, you will become these. You become what you believe in, and what you firmly believe in, which is what you will look like in the future. So, what if you start to believe in yourself? If you start to believe deeply that you can break through the current difficulties and become the existence that is out of reach in the eyes of others, what kind of person will you become? Faith is the starting point for changing your destiny. And the second step of faith is to have a clear goal. Faith is invisible, but goals are tangible. With a goal, faith will not be lost. Faith without a goal is like a ship in the wind, drifting with the current, and never finding a real harbor. Have you ever thought about what your goal is? Do you know what kind of person you want to be in the future? Are you moving towards that goal every day, unwavering? Imagine that if you work hard for a clear goal every day, no matter how the world around you changes, you will move forward firmly. Even Lincoln, despite all the failures and setbacks he experienced, never changed his goal of liberating slaves and maintaining national unity. That was his motivation to persevere and move forward. Goals are the guiding light of your beliefs. They let you know your direction and what you want to do. Without goals, your beliefs are like travelers without maps, and you will never reach your destination. And the realization of goals depends on self-discipline. Self-discipline is the foundation behind all success. You can have higher ideals and stronger beliefs, but without the support of self-discipline, you will never achieve your goals. Self-discipline is the power that you still choose to persist when others relax. It is the determination that you still silently pay when others choose to enjoy. Think about Ford. He has never been easily recognized by anyone. As a pioneer in the automotive industry, his early career was full of challenges and even suffered huge failures. But he has a secret that is unknown to the public: self-discipline. He improves his work every day, constantly thinking, practicing, and overturning his own plans until he finds the most perfect answer. He has no talent, but he has self-discipline. He has persistence in his goals, and he has the power to act every day. In the end, he not only built a car that changed the world, but also established a business empire that changed the world. Self-discipline is the most powerful force behind his success. You can do it too. As long as you are willing to be self-disciplined like Ford, every day. Set goals for yourself, set time for yourself, complete them on time, don't procrastinate, and don't escape. You will find that such self-discipline will bring you unimaginable power and make you more determined at every step. However, self-discipline alone does not mean that you will not encounter challenges. There is no smooth road in life. And there are always unknown pains behind success. You will encounter setbacks, feel lonely, and have countless moments when you want to give up. Then, at these moments, the most important thing is whether you can persist and whether you can be indomitable under pressure. Stress resistance is the difference between successful people and ordinary people. Stress resistance does not mean that you can endure pain, but that you can continue to act under pressure, learn lessons from failure, and stand up and fight again. Lincoln experienced countless failures, and even the presidency was out of reach for a time. However, his ability to withstand pressure allowed him to stand up in the darkest moments, face challenges, and not give up. In the end, he led the United States out of the shadow of the Civil War and became one of the greatest presidents in American history. And you? Do you feel lost today because of some small setbacks? Do you want to give up your dream because of a failure? If so, then remember, the real strong are those who still stick to their beliefs in pain, those who can still stand up and take the next step in the most difficult moments. In this world, true success is never achieved overnight. It is achieved through persistence, accumulation, and daily efforts and learning. Behind every successful person, there are countless days and nights of struggle and persistence. So, now, I want to ask you, are you ready? Are you ready to overcome those difficulties, ready to meet those challenges? Ready to let your beliefs guide you to the future, ready to set a clear goal for yourself, ready to practice that unparalleled self-discipline and stress resistance, ready to accept every hardship in life, and finally stand at a higher place? If your answer is yes, then today is the beginning of your change. From now on, believe in your dreams, believe in yourself, set goals, maintain self-discipline, dare to act, learn to resist pressure, and continue to learn until you succeed. Every choice and every action is part of your destiny. Every step you take determines your distance from your dream. If your current life is still far from your ideal, then why are you still staying where you are? Yes, we all know that faith and goals are not enough. You must act. Just imagining your future and dreaming alone cannot make you change the present. You must take that step and cross the boundary of the comfort zone to truly enter the life you desire. You may have heard such a saying, the secret of success is to start doing it today, not tomorrow. This sentence seems simple, but it contains infinite power. Today, you are still hesitating, and tomorrow, you are still procrastinating, and the result is always tomorrow after tomorrow. How many tomorrows there are? These day-to-day procrastinations will eventually drag you from the heights of your dreams to the abyss of despair. You may feel that you don't have enough time, or that your current conditions are not good enough. But you must understand that everyone's time is limited. And the only thing that determines whether you can turn time into wealth is your ability to act. Remember, nothing is predestined. You are not born to be luckier than others, nor are you born to live worse than others. What you have determines what your future will look like. What you have to do is to treat every day as an opportunity to change your destiny and act without hesitation. Every decision and every step you take will push you towards the goal you want. Like Kazuo Inamori, his success was not achieved overnight. When he started his career, he faced endless difficulties and uncertainties. He proved a truth with his actions. The most important thing in the world is never what others say about you, but your persistence in your beliefs. He told himself, do a little bit every day, keep going, and there will be changes one day. Even in the most difficult moments, he still did not give up, but insisted on working for his goals every day, no matter how difficult it was, and no matter how many people told him it was impossible. What did he rely on to do it? It was action. Every day, he worked unswervingly for his goals. So, what about you? Are you also waiting for the right time? Are you also looking forward to the day when all conditions become perfect before you start to act? If so, then you are always waiting. You must understand that there is no perfect time. All you can do is to act firmly under imperfect conditions and break those seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Action is the key to changing your destiny. If you have not achieved your desired goal today, it is not because you lack the ability. But because you lack sufficient action, action does not require you to be perfect from the beginning. It requires the step you take and the continuous and unwavering advancement. Don't wait any longer. Success will not wait for you. It will wait for those who dare to act. It will open the door for those who seize the opportunity and bravely take the first step. And to be able to persist in these actions, endure setbacks, and meet every challenge, it is crucial to have another quality: stress resistance. Behind every person who has reached the pinnacle of success, there is an unknown history of stress resistance. When you see them standing in the spotlight and enjoying the applause, have you ever thought about how much pressure they are under behind the scenes? When you face pressure, how will your heart react? Will you start to waver? Will you feel that you can't bear it, and start to doubt whether you can go on? Lincoln had experienced countless failures, even before he became president. His life was simply a story of falling and getting up again. He failed many times, witnessed the death of countless people in person, and endured the suffering of the people and the division of the country in the war. Every moment was a test of life and death. But he never gave up. Although he must have wavered in his heart, he never let these pressures knock him down. He had enough faith in himself, and he had an unshakable sense of responsibility for his mission. And this sense of responsibility drove him to persevere, overcome countless dark nights, and finally lead the country out of the predicament. Have you ever felt collapsed because of a little setback? Have you ever decided to give up because of a failure? Do you always feel confused in the face of pressure, and even start to blame yourself and doubt yourself? The ability to resist pressure is the watershed between success and failure. It is not innate, but can only be cultivated through continuous self-breakthrough, continuous efforts, and persistence. No matter how much pressure you are under today, or how terrible the challenges in the future are, as long as you dare to face it, stick to it, and meet every difficulty, you will eventually find that you have become stronger and stronger. You must learn to embrace pressure and learn to dance with it, rather than avoid it. Every pressure is an opportunity for you to grow. It can make you more resilient and make you more fearless when facing the next bigger challenge. When you overcome these external challenges through your own efforts and stress resistance, you will find that the original difficulties are no longer so terrible. And you yourself have become a strong person. However, it is not enough to have the ability to act and resist pressure. To truly succeed, you must also have the ability to continue learning. Many times, the most terrible thing in a person's life is not failure, but stagnation. We often see those who once had brilliant achievements suddenly disappear at a certain moment. The reason is very simple: they stop learning and stop making progress. You have seen many successful entrepreneurs and leaders who are constantly learning every day, acquiring new knowledge, understanding new changes in the world, and being exposed to new ideas. Why can they continue to succeed? Because they never stop learning. They know that nothing in this world is permanent. And only by continuous learning can they remain invincible in a changing world. Learning is not limited to books. It includes experience, wisdom, communication with others, understanding of the world, and the improvement of one's own abilities. Learning is a lifelong process and a necessary path to success and a higher level. Okay, let's move on. The next part will further deepen the theme of self-cognition and adaptability while strengthening the emotional momentum behind the action. Have you ever thought about this question? Why do some people not fear or avoid the same challenge, while others choose to give up? Why do some people always stand up quickly and move forward again in the most difficult moments, while others struggle in the face of difficulties and fall into endless difficulties? The answer lies in adaptability. Have you ever encountered such a situation? You are well prepared, but suddenly encounter unforeseen difficulties, sudden blows, unknown challenges, and even doubts from others make you feel that there is no way out. At this time, some people choose to give in, thinking that they have reached the end. Others, however, rely on their strong inner strength to quickly adjust their mentality, find a new direction, and finally break through the difficulties and achieve the success they desire. Adaptability is not achieved overnight. It comes from your self-awareness and your tolerance and acceptance of change. The world is always changing. Today's opportunities may disappear tomorrow. Social competition has never stopped. Every technological innovation and every social change may catch you off guard. But you must understand, Any change in the world can only be transformed into your driving force if you can adapt to it. For example, Apple was once in the limelight in the global technology industry, and its success was inseparable from adaptability. Apple has experienced many technological crises and market crises, especially in the early 2000s, when Jobs' return was considered the key to saving Apple. At that time, Apple's stock price had fallen to the bottom and was almost on the verge of bankruptcy. The environment of the entire technology market has undergone earth-shaking changes. Smartphones, personal computers, the internet, and other fields are developing rapidly. Apple's future seems to be confused. However, Jobs not only did not give up, but quickly adjusted his strategy and started product innovation and optimization. The launch of the iPhone has completely changed the landscape of the global mobile phone industry, and also allowed Apple to catch up from the trough and become one of the most innovative companies in the world. What Jobs did was to constantly adapt to this ever-changing world, use a forward-looking vision to capture every subtle change, and grasp those seemingly insignificant but full of potential opportunities. In his eyes, any change is not a misfortune, but a challenge and an opportunity for self-transcendence. So, what about you? When faced with great pressure and unpredictable changes in life, can you quickly adjust your mentality, change your action strategy, and start again? Adaptability is not just patience in the face of difficulties. More importantly, it is the ability to quickly adjust, act quickly, and welcome new opportunities. This is an ability that allows you to see hope in uncertainty and stand up without hesitation after every fall. Adaptability allows you to be at ease in a complex society and be able to calmly deal with various variables. Many people have been pursuing a perfect life all their lives, thinking that everything should develop according to plan, but life never has a perfect script. You can only learn to adapt and learn to find your own way in an uncertain world. You have to understand, your adaptability is the key to determining whether you can go further. At the same time, adaptability is also closely related to your emotional management. Have you ever been depressed all day because of a little unpleasant thing, and felt that the sky has fallen? If so, then you have to realize that the control and management of emotions is a significant difference between successful people and ordinary people. In many successful cases, we often see that they can remain calm and rational, especially when facing great pressure and sudden challenges. They can still keep a clear head and make the most reasonable decisions. For example, you will find that many top CEOs, when facing the company's difficulties, will not panic due to external pressure, but still calmly and decisively formulate solutions. This does not mean that they have no emotions, but that they can reasonably regulate their emotions and avoid emotions interfering with their judgment. Emotional management does not mean repression, but learning to stop when emotions fluctuate, examine yourself, think rationally, and find the best solution. Therefore, whether you can stay calm in difficult times, still believe that you can find a way out, and still remain rational and calmly deal with it, is the key to measuring whether you can succeed. In addition to adaptability and emotional management, there is another key point, that is self-awareness. Do you know clearly what you really want? Do you really understand your strengths and weaknesses, know how to maximize your potential and your strengths, and at the same time make up for your shortcomings? And avoid falling into the dilemma of blind self-confidence or excessive inferiority. Truly understanding yourself is the foundation of any successful person. You can't just blindly chase the success of others, and you can't just imitate the pace of others. You need to be clear about your unique values and goals, and make reasonable decisions based on them. Those who are truly successful are constantly adjusting and correcting on the basis of knowing who they are and what they want. Self-awareness is your most important competitive advantage. It allows you to always find your direction in a changing world and clearly know the path you should take. People without self-awareness are often easily lost in other people's success stories and easily influenced by external evaluations, thus losing confidence and losing their own rhythm. So, if you don't know what you really want, then from now on, you need to spend time to know yourself and feel your truest desire. Only when you truly understand yourself and know what you want can you find your own way in a complex world. Have you ever thought that your true mentality and beliefs determine your performance every day and how far you can go? If your mentality today is still negative and skeptical, then in the future you can only struggle in this mentality and cannot achieve a real breakthrough. Let's start with mentality. Mentality is not innate, it is the result of countless choices and countless events in the future. Everyone has had lows and has experienced pain and frustration. But what really determines your final outcome is not the pain and frustration itself, but the mentality you choose to face them. Imagine a difficult time in your life. Maybe you are underestimated in the workplace, or you have experienced a blow in your personal life. At this time, you are standing at a crossroads. You can choose to bow your head and give up. Or you can choose to raise your head to meet the challenge and continue with an unyielding heart. Your mentality determines which way you will go. Some people choose to sink in the face of difficulties. They will think, why am I so unlucky? Why am I so unfortunate? And fall into an emotional trough that they cannot extricate themselves. Others, they will say, every pain is an opportunity to grow. They will take the initiative to find solutions to problems, and even find new inspiration and motivation in failure. Have you read the story of Thomas Edison? He is one of the greatest inventors in the world, but you may not know that before he became a great inventor, he experienced countless failures. Edison once experimented with thousands of different materials and tried to invent the light bulb, but failed every time. However, he never gave up, nor did he ever think that these failures were his end. On the contrary, his mentality has always been, every failure is a prelude to success. He said in an interview, I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. This mentality of his is the source of motivation for his ultimate great innovation. He did not give up because of every failure, but by adjusting his mentality, always staying positive, constantly seeking ways, and finally successfully creating inventions that changed the world. Can you have the same mentality in your life, in the face of failure? Will you choose to blame yourself, or choose to stand up again and draw strength from failure? The power of mentality is far beyond your imagination. When you have the right mentality, the whole state of the person will change. You will become more sensitive, see more opportunities, and even find a way forward in difficult situations. A negative mentality will only make you confused and prevent you from clearly seeing the light ahead. Let's start today and learn to adjust our mentality whenever you face a challenge. Tell yourself, this is not the end of me, but a new beginning. Whenever you encounter failure, don't be discouraged, but maintain a positive and optimistic attitude, and firmly believe that you have the ability to change the future. And your mentality is supported by your beliefs. Beliefs are like an invisible thread that firmly leads you to the direction you want to go. Your understanding of the world and your expectations of yourself will be reflected in your words and deeds through your beliefs. Beliefs are the internal source of motivation for successful people. Have you noticed that many successful people do not always have the strongest abilities or resources, but they have an unshakable belief? They firmly believe that they are destined to reach a certain height. And this belief drives them to overcome difficulties again and move towards the pinnacle of success. There is a story that once touched me deeply. Joe Girard, certified by the Guinness World Records as the most successful car salesman in the world, sold more than 13,000 cars during his career. Joe was not born into a wealthy family. His background was very ordinary. Some people even thought he couldn't do it. But he had an unusual belief. He believed that he was the best salesman and could achieve results beyond ordinary people. So he began to make extremely strict plans, constantly honing his sales skills every day, deeply understanding customer needs. And in countless rejections and failures, he still maintained a firm belief. In the end, he surpassed all sales records and became a legend in the global car sales industry. Have you ever had similar beliefs to support you through the trough of life, to help you out of trouble, to let you cross those seemingly insurmountable obstacles? Belief is not just an idea. It is a force deep in your soul. It will not be shaken by changes in the outside world. It is a driving force that continues to push you forward when you have faith. Your actions are no longer to cope with life, but are full of goals and meaning. It is this belief that drives your efforts every day, allowing you to gradually approach the life you want with your persistence day after day. However, the role of mentality and belief must eventually be transformed into action. No matter how strong your mentality and belief are, if you don't take action, then everything is just a castle in the air. I know that this view may sound simple, but many people in reality, although they have the right mentality and belief, still stay at the stage of wanting to do and never put it into practice. Have you ever been like this? Every day I plan, thinking about doing this and that tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, things still haven't started. Action is the most critical step. If you don't take action today, then tomorrow you will be the same as today, or even take a step back. Every delay, every hesitation, will make you further away from success. And every time you dare to take the first step, it will bring you one step closer to your dream. The only thing that will not change in the world is the passage of time. If you don't take action, time will still pass, others will still make progress, and you will still be standing still. People who don't take action are ultimately destined to be spectators, not participants. Action is your challenge to the world. The more you act, the more opportunities and possibilities the world will respond to you. Even if your actions are small and insignificant at the beginning, as long as you start, you have gone further than many people. Are you willing to be the one who takes action? Are you willing to be the one who always walks on the road to your goal? If you give up today, you will give yourself a new excuse tomorrow. But if you start to act today, tomorrow you will definitely thank your brave self today. Have you ever thought about how important the word self-discipline is? You may say, self-discipline is the patent of those successful people. I may not be able to do it, but the fact is that self-discipline is never innate, but an ability that can be practiced and cultivated. As long as you have enough determination and enough focus, anyone can cultivate self-discipline and control their own life and future. Self-discipline, in simple terms, is your persistence in your goals and compliance with your own requirements. No matter how the external environment changes, you can always work towards your goals consistently. Have you heard the story of Kobe Bryant? Kobe starts training at 5 o'clock every morning. Even when others are still dreaming, he is already sweating on the court. He once said, "I don't think I am any different from other players. The only difference is my self-discipline. Others can rest, but I choose to train." Kobe's self-discipline is not only reflected in the training time, but also in his tempering of each of his skills. In every game on the basketball court, Kobe is walking on thin ice and fighting with all his strength. His success depends not only on talent, but also on the self-discipline that is maintained all the time. But ask yourself, how many times have you given up your plans in the face of temptation? How many times have you chosen laziness in front of tasks instead of sticking to the end? If you want to change your life, the first thing you need to cultivate is a kind of self-discipline that transcends all short-term enjoyment. Self-discipline is not achieved overnight. It is accumulated gradually in every ordinary day. Get up early every day. Don't procrastinate work. Don't perfunctory yourself and complete your goals on time. This is your solid step towards your goal every day. No one can succeed casually. All success comes from self-discipline and persistence. You cannot control the changes in the outside world, but you can control your own behavior. Similarly, self-discipline and stress resistance are inseparable. The road to success is often full of difficulties and challenges, and stress resistance is the decisive factor in whether you can continue to move forward in adversity. Stress resistance, in simple terms, is your ability to persist and not be defeated when you encounter pressure and adversity. This ability is not only reflected in your calm response to setbacks, but also in whether you can draw strength from adversity, quickly adjust your state, and start again. Think about Alibaba's founder Jack Ma. In 1999, when Jack Ma promoted his investors in the United States, almost no one believed that he could succeed. What's worse, Alibaba was facing huge financial and operational pressures at the time. Jack Ma and his team were almost worried about paying employees wages every day. Many investors left, but Jack Ma firmly believed that the internet would change China's business environment. I am a person who never gives up. Jack Ma once said in an interview. Even in the most difficult times, he still chose to persist, believing that Alibaba could find a way to break through. As a result, Alibaba successfully went public and became one of the world's largest e-commerce platforms. Jack Ma also went from an entrepreneur who had failed repeatedly to one of the world's most well-known entrepreneurs. Jack Ma's story tells us that stress resistance is not innate, but is gradually cultivated by being unyielding in the face of countless pressures. Pressure is like a grindstone. which can allow you to sharpen your tenacity in challenges again and again until you become fearless. But stress resistance is not only about being able to endure pressure, but also about having enough wisdom to know how to turn pressure into motivation, how to adjust your mentality and strategy, and turn the initial heavy burden into your own forward force. Some people choose to escape when facing pressure, and they feel that they can't bear more challenges. However, the real winners often find opportunities in these pressures, dare to bear the pain, and then gain new perspectives and strength from them. In the face of various challenges in life, do you also have such courage? Dare to accept challenges, dare to face pressure, instead of letting it crush you, if you always choose to escape. Life will continue to give you the same test until you learn how to deal with these pressures. And when you finally learn, you will find that all the difficulties and challenges are actually paving the way for your success. You may ask, so, how can you develop such a strong ability to resist pressure? First, learn to manage your emotions. Don't let negative emotions, such as anger, anxiety, and fear control you. You have to learn to think calmly and stay rational to make better decisions. Second, establish clear goals. With goals, pressure is no longer a burden that crushes you, but a force that helps you move forward better. The realization of each goal can make you more determined in the face of pressure. Finally, continue to learn and reflect. When you continue to improve yourself and constantly improve your abilities, you will find that pressure is no longer an unbearable burden, but a ladder that helps you grow piece by piece. The ability to resist pressure is not just explosive power under extreme conditions. It is more of a kind of persistence and accumulation in daily life. It is that you can still think calmly when facing pressure and find ways to break through. You need to constantly train yourself to withstand greater challenges, to discover more opportunities, and to make pressure insignificant. Self-discipline and stress resistance are the foundation of action. When you are not disturbed by the external environment, can consistently stick to your goals, and can adjust your pace when facing pressure, you can maintain continuous action and move forward steadily in any challenge. Going deeper, we will discuss goal setting and continuous learning, and how to combine the two to keep you competitive in a fast-changing world and ultimately achieve the life you want. Have you ever had such a moment, sitting in the office or lying in bed, feeling that everything in your life seems to be restrained by an invisible force? You are eager to change, but every time you are ready to act, you find yourself in confusion. You don't have a clear goal or a clear direction. You start to ask yourself, what do I want? This question is like a difficult puzzle that hangs in your mind and can't be put down. But real change starts with clear goal setting. Goal setting is not a casual decision, nor a direction chosen on impulse. A goal is a well-thought-out commitment, a declaration to the future. Tell yourself that you will make every effort for this goal until it becomes a reality. Have you ever thought that the reason why many people don't live a wonderful life is because they don't really set a clear goal for themselves? We often hear this voice, I don't know what I want. Maybe you will think that this confusion is normal, but in fact, this confusion will make your life stagnate. The power of a goal is like the North Star when you are sailing. No matter how rough the sea is, the North Star always guides you in the direction of progress. With a goal, no matter how many difficulties you face, you can move forward unswervingly in the wind and rain. People without goals are like a lone boat floating on the sea, not knowing where to go. Look at Warren Buffett, the man who changed the global financial landscape, who once accepted a simple suggestion that changed his investment career. That is, he heard a friend say at a dinner party, write down the 5 most important goals in your life now, and then pick the most important one from these 5 goals and focus on it. Buffett followed this advice, listed his goals, and focused on one of them unswervingly, and finally achieved remarkable achievements. This is the power of goals. When you know clearly what you want, everything else will become simple. You will make every choice in your life that is consistent with your goals, and every action will push you one step closer to your goals. You will no longer waste time or hesitate. Every morning when you wake up, you will be eager to invest in the realization of your goals and feel that your life is full of meaning. However, having goals alone is not enough to make you successful. The attitude of continuous learning and continuous improvement is the real power that enables you to stand firm in this rapidly changing world. Have you realized that today's society is more competitive than ever before? In the past, those who relied solely on a certain skill might be able to sit firmly in their jobs, but today, knowledge and skills are updated too quickly. If you stop learning, you will be left far behind. You are no longer the one who has an advantage in the field, but an outsider who has been eliminated. Continuous learning is not a choice, but a necessary condition for success. Whether you are an entrepreneur, a workplace elite, or an ordinary person who is pursuing a dream, learning must become a part of your life. You need to constantly learn new knowledge, learn new skills, and maintain your curiosity and spirit of exploration about the world in order to constantly adapt to this rapidly changing era. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, the two richest people in the world, have mentioned in many public interviews that they spend time reading every day. Gates said, "Reading at least one book a week helps me keep thinking about the world and constantly improve my decision-making ability." Buffett reads 5 or 6 hours a day. He believes that reading is one of his most important investments, helping him to constantly discover new opportunities and trends. This persistence in learning is not only reflected in books and theories, but more of a training of thinking and a habit of updating your cognition. Do you also have such a habit of investing time every day to learn new knowledge and broaden your horizons? If you feel that you don't have time, then start by reading a page of a book every day. Start with online courses and slowly accumulate until learning becomes a part of your life. The other side of continuous learning is that you have to learn from every failure. Extract lessons from failure and even turn failure into the cornerstone of success. Successful people are those who dare to learn from mistakes and never satisfy the status quo. In the process of your continuous learning, the realization of your goals is no longer out of reach. As time goes by, your abilities will continue to grow and your vision will become broader. You will find that you are not just pursuing a goal, but constantly surpassing yourself and reaching a new height. Some people may say, "I have done well enough and don't need to learn anymore." But they don't realize that it is this complacency and stagnation that will eventually become a stumbling block on their road to success. Success never belongs to those who are satisfied with the status quo, but to those who constantly improve themselves and never stop. Continuous learning also means that you have to be good at absorbing feedback from the outside world. In this era of information explosion, you can receive a lot of information and suggestions every day. The key is that you can filter out the knowledge that is really useful to you and apply it. You must keep an open mind, dare to question yourself, dare to accept new ideas, and dare to break through your original limitations in order to keep moving forward. Similarly, learning is not just the accumulation of knowledge, it is also the driving force of action. Through learning, you not only acquire new skills, but also learn how to apply these skills in actual operations, how to combine theory with practice, and ultimately drive yourself to achieve your goals. So, do you realize that gratitude can also be an important force on your road to success? Gratitude is a kind of wisdom in life. It allows you to learn to cherish every moment and appreciate every experience, especially when you encounter setbacks. Have you found that those who are truly successful often have a grateful heart? Gratitude is not just to thank others for their help. It is more about letting you stop and examine yourself in your busy life and be grateful for those things that have accompanied you and helped you grow. You are grateful for every contribution in your life, whether it is the support of others or the efforts and sweat you have made in the process. Gratitude makes you more motivated to give back to the world, to pass on positive energy, and to make you more determined on the road of life. Do you know, in the daily life of many successful people, gratitude is a very important habit? For example, Joe Girard, known as one of the greatest car salesmen in the world, writes a gratitude diary every day, thanking every gift in life. He believes that a grateful attitude can help him see more opportunities and keep him positive forever. Gratitude allows you to accept everything in life from the bottom of your heart. Whether it is difficult or smooth, it is all part of your growth. When you begin to be grateful for every little progress, you will find that you gradually have more opportunities and move towards a brighter future.